I think we are now. Let's just give it a few seconds just in case. It's not. Oh, yes, we are live. Okay, hey guys. This is Shayna Melissa Stockman. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a holistic healer and a board certified nurse practitioner in the healthcare industry for over 3 decades. Little bit about myself. Basically, I was in full-blown heart failure, overdosed by the doctors, and left hopeless by the specialists, to helping heal myself without meds. And now I'm helping a lot of others around the world also feel better, re-energize, and just be happier. And today I want to introduce a very, very, very special guest. She's a sweet, dear friend of mine, not only a client, but a dear friend, altruistic, team player, heart of gold, Miss Cancer Survivor of 2021, that's hence the award, Miss Veronica Gianferri, here with us today. She gives so many hope and inspiration and empowerment with the tools they need to also overcome. So Miss Veronica, we are so blessed to have you with us here today. And if you don't mind, I'd like to share a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Okay. Miss Veronica, when she was little, she was exposed to a lot of heavy metals and contaminants and toxins. And she's been battling cancer on and off majority of her life. I think she's had over 40 major operations. And she was told in 2018 something none of us want to hear. She's been battling cancer on and off for many years, but in 2018, she was told you have stage 4 metastatic cancer and you have 2 months left to live. Now, for those of you that don't realize it, as the nurse practitioner here in the US, a lot of us believe that cancer may be 1 in 7 breast or 1 in 3, 1 in 4 prostate. That's not the case. The new statistics are in your lifetime in the US as an adult, a 50% chance of cancer. That's like 50% chance of if it's going to rain or be sunny that day. So Miss Veronica was diagnosed stage 4 metastatic cancer, told you have 2 months left to live, like a time date stamp on your life. And for her to be with us over 3+ years later in 2021 gives so many, 50% of the US population alone, hope and inspiration. And I'm hoping that you can continue to provide this hope and inspiration to so many, and maybe help enlighten them on what's helped you, that maybe them too that are struggling with cancer can also overcome, conquer it, and survive. And maybe if you can paint for us a little picture over the years of your cancer, a little background.
Yeah. Hi, Shayna. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. Yes, I've been battling a lot of different kinds of diseases. I've been sick for most of my life. I've had, like Shayna said, I've had metal in my body, in my blood, and everywhere else. And doctors were baffled as how that could have happened to me. But and poisons as well, and it's caused all my organs to fail at some point or another. So I've had like 40 major operations to fix. One of them would be my pancreas. They cut my pancreas in half. They took half of my pancreas out. I was one person out of thousands and thousands of people that had this type of a cancer, and one doctor that actually saved my life from that, that had just invented the pancreas operation, Dr. Ratner, in Mass General. But throughout my life, I've been very sick with other things, and one of them happens to be cancer. Now, you have to, when you have cancer, you have to be a very optimistic and very positive person in order to be able to go through this type of cancer, because the kind that I had the first time in 2006, I had a cancer that was also a stage 4, and I had to have horrific treatments, which are probably about a year and a half of chemo and radiation. I had the most aggressive kind of radiation and also chemo that you could possibly imagine. But my body was going off and on from having cancer and no cancer and then cancer again. And in 2018, like Shayna said, my body went into stage 4 metastatic incurable breast cancer, which was in my lungs, in my blood. I had 2 liters of fluid in my lung, my left lung. I had a collapsed lung. I also had a hematoma in my lung, which is a blood clot. And I was on so much medication, painkillers, you name it. And the doctors pretty much did not give me any hope at all. And they told me I needed to go home to die. And I chose not to believe that. I says, I'm going to go home in my own terms. I'm not going to a nursing home to die. I'm going to go home and I'm going to live as much as I want to live, as much as God allows me to live. So I decided to fight. I started, my daughter actually introduced me to a root-based diet, a vegetable diet, and I actually went on that diet, which is really not a diet. It's something that we should all be doing, especially people that have cancer, because people that have cancer should not be eating a lot of fat, because that actually helps the cancer stay in your system, actually helps it grow. And a lot of chemicals that they put in the foods and the processed foods are actually no good for you. So my daughter said to me, Mom, you really need to follow this through. And I did. I tried very hard to do that. Sometimes you can't help yourself. You want to go have
Mhm.
or something like that, which I try not to do, but sometimes we do that. And also, I started biohacking my body through Shayna's help. And immediately, I noticed a lot of results. I noticed that the cellular level of my body started being getting repaired from the activators that I was taking, and I noticed that my markers started getting better, which the markers are your blood, and it actually restored him to a much better place. And I actually cured my cancer in my blood. So I have partial remission, and I'm very proud to say that. Um, and now I get to live a little bit longer. And I'm still going to be on the cancer treatments, which you're able to do that during biohacking your body, but eventually you get off of it. You don't need to take it anymore. And, you don't need to take the Ibrance anymore, or whatever chemo that you're on. But the chemo that I have is only to keep me alive, not to cure this cancer, because it's incurable. But I noticed that the biohacking that I've been doing, it has been phenomenal for my body. You are the only person that can be an advocate of your own health. We all are, advocates to our own health. You have to be in a position where you have to face it straightforward and be able to put everything aside and say, this is my life. It's about me. It's about my fight. And that's what I've done. With my life so far. I'm very pleased with what I've done. And with the help of Melissa, I'm very grateful to her for all the things that she has taught me with biohacking. I'm totally impressed and in awe of her.
And so many people are going to have inspiration too, after their doctor gives them that time date stamp on their life, that they can do more. And it's unfortunate that a lot of the doctors graduated medical school before this newer biotech technology, so they're not really aware of it. So you have to be your own advocate. I'm not saying not to do what the oncologist says, but I'm saying when you have a battle and you're fighting for your life, you need to get all your soldiers out. You need to get your soldiers out from it, if it could be chemotherapy, traditional medicine, but also be open to get all your other soldiers out from alternatives as well. And it's important to know that people don't have to choose. Oh, my face is frozen. People don't have to choose traditional medicine or alternatives. That what I did was I spoke with your physician actually directly, and a lot of times that's what we do. So years ago, you used to have to pick either I'm going to do medicine or I'm going to do alternatives. And now this is true integrative health, where you can have the best of modern medicine and the best of natural alternatives for more of a synergistic result. During this cancer battle, you have to get all your soldiers out, the ones from Western medicine, the ones from Eastern, and do true integrative medicine, as well as holistic. The biohacking is working on a Why am I frozen up there? Okay, the biohacking is working on a cellular level, and those cells are throughout every organ of every part of our body. So that truly is, to me, holistic means the entire whole body. And when you attack this problem to get at the root cause, which is some call functional medicine, this is also functional as well. We need to attack the root cause to actually try to revert the disorder back to the way it was. And when we work on a cellular level, and those cells are in every organ in every part of our body, we are, he says, in essence, helping every organ in every part of our body for a true holistic approach. And I don't know, because my face looks frozen, if I am live frozen or not live frozen. So I'm going to keep talking for now. It's important for people to know that don't know. Biohacking is like if you hijack a plane, you take over control of that plane. Biohacking is you hacking your own biology. So you're taking the power back to have control over your own biology. So we now know through modern medicine and alternatives and biotechnologies that we have the power to take back. We don't have to have that time date stamp and then just listen to that doctor. We could say, hey, doc, you know what? I found out about this biohacking. Can you check into it for me? What do you think? So that's very important. Veronica's doctors were very open-minded. They did all the research and they said, girl, yeah, you can take this. Maybe not in those words, but they gave her full-blown permission to take it. And even during chemotherapy, that's important to know that they can do this not instead of, but they can do it in addition to. Some may do it instead of, some do it in addition to. And Veronica, you give so many hope and inspiration. 50% of the US population alone are going to have more hope now and not be like, wow, I have 2 months left to do. Let me bang out my bucket list. And they're going to be inspired and they're going to be like, wow, Veronica overcame 3 years later after a 2-month death sentence with stage 4 metastatic cancer in her blood to partial remission and not in her blood anymore. And they're going to want to know, like, what did Veronica do and how can I do that? So I am going to share with them a little bit more at the end, but can you paint us just a tiny bit more picture of before, well, maybe two things. The biohacking, for those that don't know, is they can do it with diet in addition to the other things you do. But can you just tell them real quick how easy it is? Is it pills, capsules, liquid, a little bit of both?
It's a
And
little
you can pick and choose?
yeah, sometimes when you're on chemo, it brings you to a really a low. And I take a liquid actually that's is like is activation, it's not supplementation. I mean, you can take all the vitamins you want, but these like liquid things that you take is like a powder you put in a drink, and it gives you so much energy. When you went down through chemo, and all of a sudden you feel so like
Mm,
lethargic and you feel sick and you want to just sleep constantly. Well, this gives you a lot of energy, and
yes.
it helps you revive your body. You know, and then you take the they look like vitamin pills, but it's not a vitamin. It's a supplement, is an activator, not a vitamin.
Yes, that's
And
very important. Yeah, so the Veronica does sometimes certain juices, sometimes certain capsules or caplets that help activate her body and her pathways in her body to do what they should do and need to do. And, you know, the cancers, a lot of times with the chemo, it affects your nervous system and your brain fog. And I believe the juicing that she's doing also has a lot of her B vitamins to replenish the nerves and give her that energy back. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing that you're doing. And you're biohacking with both diet and the alternatives as well. So that's important for people to try to do both when they can, but if they can't diet, at least do the alternatives.
I just want to remind everybody that doing a vegetable, like a root based vegetable diet, is really not a diet. It's something we all actually should be doing anyway. We should try to stay away from things that have chemicals in it, things that have a lot of fat in them, things that have
Yes.
growth hormones in it, which is terrible for the body and actually causes cancer cells to grow. You know, we
Yes.
already have the cancer cell in our bodies, and what we need to do is just stay away, clear away from these things that actually causes those cells to grow bigger and become the actual cancer.
Yes, that's very important. Things that might be known carcinogens might include insecticides, pesticides,
Yeah.
organic if they can, but that's more expensive. Some people may grow their own fruits and vegetables to save some money. Non-processed is a huge thing to do and to stay away from the process. So how I like to explain it to my patients and clients is basically if it has eyes or comes out of the ground, grows out of the ground, it's good for you. Everything else is bad. In the supermarket, you shop around the outside. That's where like the meat, fruits, and veggies are, and all those inner aisles are probably the bad things that are not so good for you. So that's an easy way to remember it. So, and also I think it's important to keep a healthy mindset too. Like you had to believe I could do this. I have this. You have to have belief or you're not going to try and not going to do it. So a healthy mindset is very, very important. And sometimes the mind steers the body on where to go. So I commend you for having a healthy mindset, believing that you can do it, never ever giving up, because I know that chemo is very, very, could be very hard on you. And I know the biohacking can help a lot of people get through chemo a lot easier. And I know, Veronica, how do you feel? You've expressed this to me once before, but maybe for the viewers that don't know, what do you think about how it helped with your health span and your lifespan? For you, those of you that don't realize the difference, lifespan is how long you want to live. And health span is out of all those years you're living, how many of them do you want to be healthier? So how do you think biohacking helped you with your lifespan and health span?
I think biohacking is terrific because I feel much better and I feel like I want to live forever. At this point, I'm very happy. We all have ups and downs in our lives. We all have awful things that have happened to us. We're not, perfect humans, but I think it's up to you to make yourself happy. It's not up to anybody else but yourself. And when I do the activations in my body, I notice a huge difference. Like for example, I was taking over 600 units of insulin a day. Now I'm only taking like an eighth of that, and it's a huge improvement.
And that's amazing considering you only have a half a pancreas. I mean, that is huge. And then your husband, what was his insulin use and what is it now?
Oh, he was taking quite a bit of insulin for a bit, and now he's no longer on insulin, But
Wow.
you have to keep that positive mind, and you have to fight for your life. It's not up to anybody else to do that for you. It's up to you. We're responsible for us, not for anybody else. We have to help ourselves first before we can help anybody else out. So I
That's
want
a, that's a,
yeah, at this point, I like to be able to help you in any way that I can. And I started a business with Melissa. I own Healthy Living Enterprises at livevantage.com. If you're interested in going in there, or if you want to speak, you can to somebody. You can speak to Shane and Melissa. She is wonderful. She has a lot of credentials and she knows her stuff.
oh, thank you. And can you share one more thing? Can you tell them a little bit about seizures and how you were before and after the biohacking?
Oh yeah, I was having a lot of seizures. I mean, it became such a disruption in my life. It became like maybe 2 or 3 times a day I would have a seizures. I'd go to any store and all of a sudden I'd have a seizure in the store. I couldn't drive, I couldn't do anything, and it became a burden to me. So since I've been doing the biohacking, I might have maybe one seizure a year, but even that is like very little to what
Yes,
I was used to having. Is restoring me. It's restoring my brain, restoring
yes,
my eyesight, my lungs, my skin. My skin looks a lot better than it did. I used to
yes.
have black blotches all over my skin. I don't have that anymore. So it's improved my muscles. It's improved my joints. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I'm actually walking a lot better than I was. I'm doing a lot better than
And
I was.
for I mean, I've known you before and after. So for me to see the transformation is huge. And I think you so stumped even your oncologist is like,
Yeah,
what are you doing? Like, I need to know more about this. Like, her oncologist is even like, you know, how
shocked.
how did this happen?
They can't believe that this happened to me. Nobody can believe it because of the type of cancer that I had. All right, I still do a little bit, but it's going away, with this biohacking. But they want to know why. why this happened to me. My doctor actually started crying because she was in shock. She says, I got to help other people's, other people out there that have this type of cancer to help them survive. There's so many of us that have died with this cancer. So many of it. So many people have died with minute cancer compared to mine, that have
I
died.
know, and to have stage 4 and have it in your blood and not in your blood. I mean, that, and to give 2 months, told you have 2 months left to live. I mean, that's horrific alone. But fast forward over 3 years, you give people hope, like, heck, maybe I could increase my lifespan. Maybe I could increase my health span. Maybe I could increase my health span and lifespan. So you bring them hope, you bring them inspiration, and you're going to help give them the knowledge that they need so that they can also do the things that you did. I learned this in life. If you want to be where someone is, you need to know what they did and how they got there. So now people can look at you. They don't have to take the road less traveled. They could take the road from someone that's been there, done that, and say, girl, I can help you out and totally expedite this. Not only help them overcome and lift them up, but help them overcome at an expedited pace where maybe they can, start doing what you're doing when they're only at stage 2 or stage 3 to help, even increase their success even more. So I think that's huge. And I encourage them to reach out to Veronica on her website, or I think on the website, if you click contact, you can probably send her an email that way as well. And also the book that you just launched, and congratulations. Yes. So overcoming life obstacles, your chapter is absolutely amazing, that a lot of others with cancer going through the battle or other malignancies or told they were terminal, or those that their loved ones can read your chapter in the book and have this hope and inspiration. But also in the chapter, they can read exactly, a lot of the tips that you went through to help them. And after your chapter, Veronica has her bio there with links to her social media accounts and her email and her websites. I would actually encourage them to get the book because they can learn a lot more about it that way. And then they can have all your links. If you guys get the Overcoming Life Obstacles book, it actually just launched about a week ago. It's already #1 international bestseller per Amazon in 3 countries: US, Canada, and Australia, in multiple categories, including cancer, naturopathy, medical books, which this is like unheard of to have something natural like this in medical book category, health and fitness, and there's more categories. I'm not sure all the categories that reach #1 in these countries. It's available in every country. I think Amazon has 13 different countries. They can get the Kindle version now on Amazon. They can go to Overcoming Life Obstacles to get a personalized autograph copy. They can reach out to you directly for a personalized autograph copy. If you guys order direct from Amazon, it's not personalized or autographed. It does come quicker because we have like literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of orders right now, and the printers are doing single orders first before bulk orders. So I guess I encourage them to go to healthylivingenterprises.livevantage.com, which is your website. They can click contact you. They can go to Amazon, search for Overcoming Life Obstacles by Shana Melissa Stockman and contributing authors. They can get the Kindle version there and get all your contact information there. They can get the paperback there, but if they want a personalized one, they can reach out to my website, overcominglifeobstacles.com, or you directly on healthylivingenterprises.livevantage.com. And I guess encourage you guys to hear more of our stories by going to the Facebook page, where we'll have updates, Overcoming Life Obstacles. And I'd like you to maybe just talk to the cancer survivors one time separately and give them more tips. I'd love to have you back and speak to them one-on-one, maybe one time about mindset, one time about the diet, and just give them more encouragement. And maybe we'll even do a Zoom where we can schedule it ahead of time and they can come on and ask questions and things like that. So Veronica, I am just so, you are so inspiration and give so much hope and empower them with the tools that they need, that they can use Eastern and Western traditional medicine and alternatives for true integration and synergistic results on a holistic cellular level. Also getting and attacking that root cause, which is what people call functional medicine. And speaking functional medicine, I just got invited to write in a book with the founder of functional medicine. Like, I am honored about that. That is so cool. And I have a radio interview tomorrow actually about the book. So girl, I love you. Is there any last words you'd like to say for just right now to the viewers that are watching? Anything major that we left out that you want them to know about?
You have the power to do this. You're your own advocate of your life. So please, please think about yourself and think about your illnesses, and we can help you. Please
Aw.
contact us if you need our help. We'd be proud to help you in any way that we can.
Yeah, we'd be glad. Or they can go to my Facebook page too, Biohack NP, and get some updates and reach out to us that way as well.
And Melissa has a lot of credentials herself, so she's
Yes.
in the nursing field for a long time.
Yes, over 30 years now, actually. And if some of the viewers might hear people call me Melissa and some people Shayna, just to clarify that, I have been a registered nurse since 1993, a board certified nurse practitioner since 97. I'm also licensed in both pediatric health and adult health as a nurse practitioner. My original licenses, I was always told my name was Melissa Stockman. About a year or so ago, I discovered my original birth certificate, which is Shayna Melissa. So some may hear me called Shayna, some may hear me called Melissa. That'll just clarify that. So the book, Overcoming Life Obstacles, is listed on Amazon under my newly discovered birth name, Shayna Melissa Stockman. So I just want to tell the viewers here, we're going to pray for each and every one of you. You got to keep the healthy mind. You can also eat healthier and biohack like Veronica does. So I just want to say, be well, stay safe, biohack, God bless, and OLO, right? Yeah, OLO is the new term for you overcame a life obstacle and you optimistically lift others. That's the acronym. And then you're just like, yes, OLO. So be well, stay safe, God bless, and OLO.
Hello.
All right, let me see.